Right, okay, anyway. So, this is PS5 number 3. I bought 3 boards off eBay. I've already worked on 2. This is number 3. So I'm going to try and fix this one. I'm going to see what the deal is with this. So someone's messed with this. So I don't want to hear nothing about liquid metal, because yes, someone has messed with this. So I'm going to be cleaning up the liquid metal before I do anything. It's marked, the board's been marked as HDMI EN, whatever that means. So maybe HDMI encoder or something. Let's just have a scan around the board in diode mode and see if we can pick anything up. What the hell is that? What? Wait, what? Who? Where? When? Why? What? What the? What's the dealio with that? So this is the same story as the last ones. Whoever's worked on these, I think, has actually killed them. Because look at this. Like they've worked on another board and yet another board that's had rework around the HDMI area. They've changed the MN864739, so it looks like they've replaced that. But yeah, let's just check a few things like in diode mode and stuff. So it's marked as HDMI N on the board. That could mean HDMI encoder, HDMI enable, something like that. So yeah, I'm just going to test these. So we're getting 0.2 volt drop to ground on that. 0.2. Right, so the HDMI encoder 0.39. Yeah, the HDMI encoder is actually reading okay. Whoops. 0.39. That's a little bit high actually for there. Yeah, so these are reading 0.2 volt drop to ground, which is about right. It's a low impedance line. We've got a missing cap there. That's not going to cause any issues. I don't even know what the symptoms are of this yet. I haven't powered it on or anything. I'm just doing a few preliminary checks before I do anything. Okay, so all of those caps around there appear fine. Yeah, another one where the HDMI port's been messed with. 0.76 on pin 19. 0.53. That is actually really strange. Pin number 13 shouldn't be reading open line. And of course there's liquid metal on the board. Yeah. Of course there's liquid metal on the board. Okay, so pin 13 is reading as open line, so that's bad. Let's hook it up to a test housing and just see what's actually going on with it. Yeah, so pin number 13 is reading as open line on the HDMI port, which is not good. It's not supposed to read open line. It's supposed to read a voltage drop of around about 0.5 volts. But let's just hook it up to a test housing, just see what's actually going on with it. It could work and just not have any display or something like that. We need to know what's actually happening before we can attempt to repair it. Okay. Okay, so we've got a single beep with no power on this. So let's just have a look at some test voltage rails and see what the deal is. Yeah, so every so often, this is a really common issue, this is. This actually could be down to liquid metal being spilt on the board, but that's going to be technician, a technician that spilt it. Might help if I was actually doing things right. So voltage mode, let's just see what test rails we've got. We've got 5.9 volt, 0.9 volts there. We've got 3.3 there. Okay, we've got 0.9 volts on F7002. So we've got a big voltage drop there. That means that F7002 is likely short. Or at least something on that circuit is short. Oh, hang on a minute. 5.09 volts. And then 0.9 volts on the other side of the fuse. So that means that fuse is blown. Right. So the reason we're only getting 0.9 volts is because basically when a fuse blows, sometimes it can blow just completely open line. And sometimes it'll act like a resistor and it'll increase in resistance. So if we go into resistance mode, what does that read? Yeah, so that's effectively like having a 37,000 ohm resistor in circuit there, which is massively dropping the 5 volt rail. So on F7002 on the EDM020 board, we're supposed to have 5 volts coming in through the fuse, and then it's supposed to go into this chip here, and then it's supposed to put 1.8 volts out. It can't possibly put 1.8 volts out if it's only putting 0.9 volts through, because this is acting like a resistor, not like a fuse. So if we go back into voltage mode, you'll see that we're going to be getting absolutely nothing on the 1.8 volt. Whoops, that's the wrong way. Yeah, absolutely nothing on the 1.8 volt because this chip is expecting 5 volts, and then it converts. It's a DC to DC converter, and it converts 5 volts into 1.8. On the 010 board, it was 5 volts to 3.3, but they changed that in this revision for whatever reason. And then this 1.8 volt goes off to the Wi-Fi, it goes off to the HDMI encoder and things like that. So that's why we've got the issues we've got. Now we've got a rough idea on where to start. The first thing I'm going to do is change that fuse, because I don't think the area is short. I can check it in diode mode, but I don't think the area is short. I think it's just the fact that the fuse has blown and it's acting like a resistor, or rather the fuse has gone bad. In fact, is that even a fuse, or have they just put a random component off the board onto it? Because whoever's worked on this clearly hasn't done a very good job. Like, at all. I mean, look at what they've done to that. Need we say more? That fuse is definitely bad. In fact, I think there is a fuse. It's just been damaged. Or it's blown. Shockingly bad soldering there is. Absolutely shocking soldering. Yeah, someone's done that while they're running solder across here. Don't know how, but they have. Should we just leave it like that? Actually, let's leave it like that for a minute. Like, I'm going to bridge that temporarily. Never leave a fuse bridged, guys. It's a bodge job and you know it. But just to check, okay, we've got no short on that area. 0.36 volts drop to ground. So yeah, there's no short on that circuit at all. It's a bob job. So I can replace that fuse without having to try and figure anything else out, because I know it's good. I know the circuit is good, or it appears good. So I will take one off a donor board because I haven't got any in stock. Let's just make sure that this fuse is good. Yeah, perfect. That fuse is fine. I can use that. If it's a bodge job and you know it, clap your hands. So these are the same fuse, even though it's a different circuit, it's still the same amount of current coming in. I think it's the same fuse rating anyway. But I only bridged that fuse just so I could test the diode reading across the entire circuit. Oh damn it! I think I've just damaged that fuse taking it off. Don't think that fuse is going to be any good. Oh no, it is. It's just took the film off it. Sorry, that was out of focus then. I don't actually use the microscope myself, really. I do sometimes, but yeah. Okay, so that's good now, that fuses. So if we go into resistance mode now, it's 0 ohms, so that fuse is absolutely fine. So the Resistance reading is just up in this corner here. I haven't got it hooked up to the computer. But yeah, that's dead short, which means it's a good fuse. It's fine. Can you use thermal paste on a PS5? No. Tronics Fix did try that and it didn't. It overheated. Unfortunately not, mate. You can't. Right, let's see what happens now. Now that we should get 5 volts out on that fuse. So yeah, basically that fuse that was on there was just acting as a big resistor and dropping most of the voltage across the resistor. So we should get 5 volts on that fuse now, on both sides of it. So voltage mode on the left hand side of the fuse, and yep, we get 5.01 volts. Still no power. So we still have an issue. We do still have an issue. Let's just make sure this liquid metal hasn't spilt under here. Of course it has. Of course it has. Why? Because some idiot's been messing with it. So this is definitely a case where it's just the fact that some morons mess with it. Not because of any other reason. But there is a liquid metal spill on it. Nah, I'm just doing some time saving with this. I would have put it under the scope, but nah. Yeah, so this is literally just going to be down to a technician who's messed with it. And plus, don't forget, these came as boards only.
Dave Statham super chatted $6.12. Bob's retirement fund.
Cheers, mate. I'll be sure he gets it. Let's check it again, see if it turns on. Now that there's no liquid metal on the board, and if it don't, then we'll look into something else. No. Alright, let's check for some more voltage rails then. So, let's have a look at what we're dealing with, shall we? So, we get my 5 volt rail there. We get 3.3 there. We get 1.8 there, so that means we definitely get 5 volt there. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we got 1.8 volts coming out of there. I don't think that's meant to enable until we turn it on. We've got 2 volts there though. We don't appear to be getting a 0.8 volt line. Okay, we've not got no 0.8 volt line there. And we've got no 5 volt line either. Okay. We've also got no 1.1. Yeah, we've got no 1.1, we've got no 2.5, no 0.8. So anything past this 5 volt rail here is missing. Could be a bad cap on the other side of the board. Could be something to do with the Wi-Fi IC, possibly. Okay, let's just check. I'm going to do this, I'll zoom in because I'm not going to use the scope. So I'll zoom in just to make you be able to see. Let's just check. In diode mode, let's check these caps here. They're not short, okay. Cool. This area's not short. F7502 isn't short. Yeah, so if we look here, we've got 0.37 volt drop to ground there. and then dead short this side. So I'm assuming that this fuse is bad, because otherwise it would be short on both sides. So if I go into continuity mode with the beeper on, there we go. So yes, indeed, that is another fuse which has blown. And it looks like the short is this side. So if we look at this, it goes through here. So we're missing a 5 volt rail here. We're supposed to get 5 volts on here. And then it goes out to 3.3 on these TLV chips, aka the SBV chips. So it goes to 5 volts and then to 3.3, etc. And that is dead short to ground. However, actually, hang on a minute. Right, okay, so that is definitely bad, that fuse. And it don't appear short on there. Yeah, that is dead short, definitely. Okay. So that's going to be on the other side of the board. Around this area here. So that's where that goes to. It goes to this dialog IC. So we're probably going to find, well, we've got a solder board on there, but that could have come off my desk. But we're probably going to find that we've got a short somewhere here. It's just finding the thing. Yeah, right there. So there's a short here, so it could be this cap. But it could be the dialog IC as well. I am going to start off by just removing this cap, because it could just be something straightforward like that cap, and that's going to be the easiest thing to replace. Of course, we've got to replace the fuse as well, but that's explaining why we're getting no 0.8 volt and no 2.5 volt when we attempt to power it on, which is actually pretty common. Yeah, we're still short. That's still short. Ow! Freaking burnt myself on my desk. Right, okay, so that dialog IC appears okay. Let's inject voltage, see what we can get off it. Let's go 1 volt. It is dead short, so we should get something something of interest. .9 amps of current draw at 1 volt. That is a lot of current. We should see something. I've got a feeling it's going to be up here. Maybe not. It might be one of these caps here. Right, it might be something down here. Let's just use some isopropyl alcohol, because I did see 70-something degrees on what appeared to be a cap. Is it you? I think it might be. I think it might be you. Damn it, ping off, will ya? Get off my board, mofo. Do we still get... No, we don't. There you go. Short gone. Short gone. We now no longer get a current draw. Right, okay. So, capacitor removed. Short gone. Let's get a replacement cap. So there's that. I'm going to nick the fuse at the same time. Actually, I should check that, make sure it's good. No, I can't. Never mind. I'll just risk it for a biscuit, because I've got the probes plugged into my bench supply. There you go. So that fuse is blown. So that needs changing. Ah, damn it, I've just lost that freaking fuse. Don't know where it's just gone. Didn't expect it to blow off, my airflow is quite low. There you go, get rid of that. Pop that cap on at the same time. There we go. Sorry that was a bit out of focus then. Right, this board's going to need an ultrasonic clean, so I'm not worried about that flux. I'm just going to leave the flux there for now, because this board will get an ultrasonic clean, then it will get conformal coated, protected, APU protection, etc. Yeah, right. Yep, there we go, we've got continuity on that fuse. No short to ground. Yep, 1000 ohms and climbing. That'll do, mate. That appears to be working. Does it turn on, or do we have other issues? We still have other issues. Of course we do. You son of a... Now what rails are we missing? Right, we have 0.8 volt present, unless... Okay, that's a bit weird. Why does that appear to me like it's turned on? But just with no LED working. So I'm getting 0.8 volts there. Okay, now I'm not. Now I am. And 2.5 there. That appears to be turned on, but with just no LED working. I'll tell you what. Okay, we've got some heat around here. Oh, ow. Okay, Wi-Fi chip's bad. It needs a Wi-Fi chip. Ah, yeah. So that cap there appears bad. That's dead short to ground. And that one. And the other one. So there's 3 caps here short to ground. So that's telling me that's probably not the caps themselves. Could be. It could be one of the caps. It's more likely going to be the Wi-Fi IC. Let's just have a look down here. No short around there. I'm just trying to feel around and see if there's any specific caps getting hot, or if it's just the Wi-Fi IC itself. I think it's just the Wi-Fi IC itself. It doesn't appear to be getting hot in one specific area using the AWI test anyway. It seems to be getting hotter in the middle of the chip, so around about here. So the Wi-Fi IC is on the back of the board. And the fact that there's three different shorted caps tells me that we've probably got an issue with the Wi-Fi chip. Let's remove that. It's not that big of a deal to reboard it if we need to anyway. You know, if absolutely necessary, it's not that big of a deal. It's not a difficult chip to reboard. Let's just see if these caps are still short. Well, let's just check. I'll just check the boot sequence. Okay, now we're getting a normal boot sequence with no Wi-Fi module. 270 milliamps. That's a normal boot sequence. It's not going to work without the Wi-Fi module. One thing I am noticing now is there is a solder joint there, which is pretty rough, just there. Right, so let's just check these caps again. Yeah, so it's the actual module which has gone bad. Yeah, the actual module went bad. So it's not going to boot up without that Wi-Fi IC because it does have a 1.8 volt line which passes through it. So it looks like everything stemmed from the 1.8 volt rail. You know, all of the issues have originated from this by the look of it. And someone's basically had a rabbit hole on their hands, and then I've ended up with it, with a rabbit hole on my hands. I'm hoping that once I've rebuilt this replacement Wi-Fi IC, that rabbit hole will be no more. I'll just tin all of that with leaded solder. Just like that. Just like that. Right. Let's get some braid. I'm going to prep this area ready for a new chip. Well, it's not a chip, it's a module. So underneath the shield there's a circuit. So then Wi-Fi chips can be fixed, but they're just not worth it. Well, they are, but I don't know the circuits either. There we go. So there's that. Okie doke. Pin number 1 is bottom right, pardon me, as indicated by this little curve. So that little curve indicates where pin 1 is. You can't really get it wrong. There's one pad missing on it, which makes it a lot easier. These are on a bit of an angle when you're lying flat, so let's hope that we don't damage the damn thing. Well, let's hope we don't end up messing it up and causing it to slide off. Just looking for this to drop down. Power's starting to go. I'm still at 480 by the way, because it's a high temperature area, and there is a heat shield on here protecting the actual components. There we go, that's just dropped. Did you see that? Just give it a nudge. Yep, there we go. So it's just like any other BGA chip really, it's just on a much larger scale. Well, not a much larger scale, but yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, there we go, that's good. Okay, does this turn on? If it turns on, then I'll put some liquid metal on it to keep it cool while I test it. If it don't turn on, then... Oh, no! It's gone to blue light of death. God damn it. Right. Oh, that sucks. It's gone from no power to 2-second blood. That could be the HDMI encoder. Could be that HDMI chip. We'll find out tomorrow. I'm going to ultrasonic the board anyway. So, yeah, we'll find out tomorrow on Twitch. But other than that, yeah, take it easy. Good night. Thank you all. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace, everyone. Good night.